Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the rest of the story. How about another cell phone video? But I'm at our actual, one of our furthest farms. I guess it's not our furthest farm from home, but something was sleeping here. But I'm up here grabbing some gates that were, well, they're useless for the most part. They're hog panels, but they make great floodgates, and I want to get them before the weather turns on us again, and I can't get them out of the snow and the ice and whatever else. But it's about all they're really good for is floodgates for us, because they're too short for cattle panels, and we all simply refuse to raise hogs. But this used to be one of our cow lots. Long story short, this was kind of a supplemental farm to a dairy farm that we had on the other side of the road. Grandpa sold the place, but we used to milk on that farm also, and this was also like a supplemental farm. So like all the feed here ended up feeding the dairy cows on the other farm. And what I'm standing on is one of the, well, I imagine at one time it was probably a heifer lot or a feeder calf lot, but the last that we used it, like for Grandpa, we actually had a pasture that went down. It's kind of tricky doing this backwards here. Let's see, there used to be a red barn right in this general area, but then you can see what's left of the barnyard for that dairy barn. It was actually not just a dairy barn, it was like an all-use barn. Like it had stanchions and horse stalls, and probably looked pretty neat back in the day. But then the pasture actually went down this hollow all the way down to the tree line, and then it followed the tree line. There's a lane from that tree line all the way back to the back. Let's see here, and I think I'm actually doing that backwards. No, I don't think so. But from that tree line that way, it takes you back to the back pasture. And then we tore that fence out when Grandpa was still here, just because it wasn't worth the hassle of having cattle up here. I think we only had like 8, 10 or 12, maybe 14 at the most, towards the end there. And it just wasn't worth the hassle of trying to keep cattle up here. So this farm turned into a grain farm. And it's got waterways and stuff on it, but haven't made the waterways in the last couple years. I don't know. I'd have to really look at it to see if it's worth trying to make the waterways or not, because feed is feed. So there's actually a lean right there. Runs the whole length of the barn, and that's where the cattle actually were kept over the winter at one point. See, that's the hard part when people want to know about like the background of our operations, like what we used to do at any one particular point in the past like 40 years, because we've done a lot. I mean, dairy was very big for us, but yuck, gotta love trees. Okay, violence is an option. Alright, took care of that. Try to do this one-handed here. I don't have enough room for this gate right now, but I'm gonna come back up tomorrow and grab it. But this tree, what's left of this tree, has been bugging me, because I noticed it this fall when we were harvesting up here. I could see that this tree was growing up through this gate, and honestly, for how much trouble it's giving me now, we're running out of time. All right, change tactics. Oh, Travis for the win. That gate, can't spin my camera around, was sitting right along the wall there, and that tree actually started from the inside of the shed and worked its way out. It's amazing where these things can grow from with enough determination. There's actually, oh, there's one right around the corner that's actually coming up through the cracks in the concrete. Now, if this concrete was really any good for anything, I mean, maybe that'd be more of a thing to get worried about it, but you get this far away from home for what this farm has on it, like buildings wise, it's really not worth it. If we're gonna look to build anything, it makes more sense to build it actually down towards home and saves you the trip. It's probably a good 20-30 minutes up here in the truck. No, that's not right. It's about 30 minutes in the tractor, probably 15 minutes or so in the truck, depending on how you drive. We'll leave that at that. But all right, here, come with me. It just makes more sense if we're gonna put money into a new building. You raise it, build it down at home. So at least that way it's a little bit more useful. So even this shed behind us falls in the category of too small to really be all that useful, because we can't really fit anything in it. Maybe I don't even know if we've ever packed the 7600 in there now that I think about it. The 4640, yeah, I'm sure we could get it in there. I know the combine can't. The 6620, when we had the 66, we were able to get it in through that narrow little passageway, but we actually had to drop the grain tank extensions down, which were just a front and back plate. I mean, it was on a pivot, so it just set down. But no, it's Sunday night, and I'm making a lot of noise. No tillage. Thought about it. This back here, I would like to at least try to get something worked, but they were calling for rain, and you guys can be the judge. That's the west. Really doesn't look like it, rain or snow. So maybe we'll avoid it. It'd be nice if we do. The ground actually, believe it or not, it's been getting up in the 40s, so it's actually kind of drying the ground out. Not where it's completely perfect, but we're to the point you could probably go out early in the morning and work for a few hours, and then if it gets too soft, you gotta quit. But my friend Ryan, he's done working down all of his stalks down. He hasn't done any primary tillage, but he doesn't have the coulters in front of his machine, so he actually has to disc down the stalks before he can chisel, which is essentially what we do, just because it does flow through our chisel better that way anyway. Also, if you can't get everything chiseled in the fall, at least that way all the stalks are knocked over and kind of chewed up. But that's what he was saying, that he was able to run for hours at a time, not for days at a time. He was picking and choosing when he could actually go out and work, and whenever it started to get a little bit soft on him, you have to quit until the sun went back down. So yeah, just another challenge. It's another challenge this year threw at us, but whatever. At this point, just whatever. Harvest is done. I'm grateful for that. If we don't get any tillage done, big deal. We'll deal with it next spring. So with that, I gotta get this loaded before it gets too dark on me, or completely dark on me, and get out of here. So thanks for watching. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys later.